Good evening and welcome to YHWH Learning Channel. My name is Brother Charles Williams. This evening we're going to do the next part of the 12 tribes of Israel. And tonight we're going to do what I think is the more interesting of the 12 tribes. And we'll get into that in a moment. This again is the tribes: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. And tonight we're going to concentrate, like I said, on two of the most interesting of the 12 tribes, which is Levi and Judah. Please remember that tribal symbols in the presentation are based on tradition and most reflected in Jacob's blessing in Genesis chapter 49. Bible scholars differ about the dates, meanings of the names in specific tribe locations, and the colors of their stones. We try to ensure that the material presented here is consistent with the widely held interpretations among Bible scholars. Let's get into it. The first, Levi. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9.
But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, Yahweh's special possession.
Okay, so we see what is there special about the Levi tribe. Well, if you remember the scriptures, the Levi tribe is the Levites, and they are the priests of all the tribes. They were the ones who took care of the what happened in the Tabernacle. The family of Levi, he's the third son of, this tribe is the third son of Jacob. He was born to Leah. The meaning of the name means attached. Genesis chapter 29, verse 34.
And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi.
Okay, so we see why his name meant attached, according to Genesis chapter 29, verse 34. Levi and Simeon. Along with his brother Simeon, Levi attacked the people of the city of Shechem to avenge the assault of his sister Dinah. And we can see that in Genesis chapter 34, verses 24 through 31.
And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, when they were sore, that the 2 sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. And the sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. And all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?
Okay, so we see here the problem with Levi and Simeon. Now, we spoke about this in the last teaching when we were talking about Simeon. All the problems that this caused for Levi and Simeon and the rest of the tribes. They thought they were doing right by their sister Dinah, and they were not. Jacob's blessing of the tribe of Levi. Jacob rebuked Levi and Simeon for the attack. Genesis chapter 49, verses 5 through 7.
Simeon and Levi were brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, my honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
So we see Jacob's blessing of them. Jacob rebuked them because it wasn't what Yahweh wanted. And Yahweh says here that he's going to scatter them and disperse them in Israel. The census, the tribe of Levi, the first census, the tribe of Levi was not counted with the other tribes because they were caretakers of the tabernacle. They weren't fighting men. They were counted separately, and they numbered 22,000. That's quite a tribe of Levi there. In the second census, they numbered 23,000. What was Moses' blessing? Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 11.
Bless Yahweh his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. Okay, so we see Moses' blessing on Levi here, to bless all his skills. He's asking Yahweh to bless all his Levi's skills and be pleased with the works of his hands. So Moses is wanting to bless the tribe of Levi. And here we see the tribes, the camp of the tabernacle. Now Levites were camped on all four sides of the tabernacle. Unlike every other priest, every other tribe, they were on all four sides. They were on the north, the east, the south, and the west. Now you notice in the graphic that they came before all the rest of the tribes. There was like a barrier with the tribes. You had the tribes, and then you had the Levite family, and on the east side, you also, beyond that, you had Moses, Aaron, and his sons, and then you had the tabernacle. The breastplate of the high priest, the stone. The stone is not, the Levites are not represented as a stone in the breastplate. The tribe symbol is often the breastplate itself. The color is often associated with the tabernacle colors of gold, purple, blue, and red. And here we see the priests. The priests were chosen from the tribe of Levi. The Levites, who were not chosen to be priests, still participated in caretaking of the tabernacle. Numbers chapter 3, verses 5 through 10. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and present them before Aaron the priest, that they may minister unto him. And they shall keep his charge and the charge of the whole congregation before the tabernacle of the congregation, to do the service of the tabernacle. And they shall keep all the instruments of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the charge of the children of Israel, to do the service of the tabernacle. And thou shalt give the Levites unto Aaron and to his sons, for they are wholly given unto him out of the children of Israel. And thou shalt appoint Aaron his sons, and they shall wait on their priest's office, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. Okay, so we see here it wasn't just anybody that could do this. The Levites were chosen to do this. And the Levites, even the Levites who were not chosen to be priests, they still partook of the caretaking of the tabernacle. Levi, the Day of Atonement. Once a year on the Day of Atonement, the high priest wore the breastplate with the precious stones and entered the most holy place of the tabernacle. And you can see there on the bottom right the Ark of the Covenant, and that was in the most holy place.
And there, if you read the scriptures there, in those scriptures about that, you can see the size and everything and the way exactly it was made. He also sprinkled the sacrificed animal's blood on the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant to atone for the people's sins. And you can read that in chapter 16. In the Promised Land. Now, the Levites, unlike everybody else, were not given a specific portion of land. Instead, Joshua gave them the 48 towns throughout the Promised Land in which to live and serve as ministers of the law among the tribes. And you can read that in Numbers chapter 35 and Joshua chapter 21. After the death of King Solomon, the northern kingdom engaged in idol worship and rejected the Levites as priests. The Levites sided with the southern kingdom of Judah and migrated to Jerusalem. We can see that in 2 Chronicles chapter 11 verses 13 through 17.
And the priests and the Levites that were in all Israel resorted to him out of all their coasts. For the Levites left their suburbs in their possession and came to Judah and Jerusalem. For Jeroboam and his sons cast them off from executing the priest's office unto Yahweh. And he ordained him priests for the high places, and for the devils, and for the calves which he had made. And after them, out of all the tribes of Israel, such as set their hearts to seek Yahweh Elohim of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and to sacrifice unto Yahweh Elohim of their fathers. So they strengthened the kingdom of Judah, and made Rehoboam the son of Solomon strong 3 years. For 3 years they walked in the way of David and Solomon.
Okay, so we see how the Levites sided with the southern kingdom. When the Jews returned to the land after exile, Ezra had to send a special delegation to persuade some of the Levites to return. And we see that in Ezra chapter 8, verses 15 through 36. Now, who are some notable people from this tribe? Well, you had Moses, his brother Aaron. He was the first high priest. Then you had their sister Miriam. And you can read that in Exodus chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. You also had the scribe, Ezra. You can read that in Ezra chapter 7, verses 1 through 5. Then you had the prophet Ezekiel, in Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 3. You also had John the Baptist, which you can read that in Luke chapter 1. You also had Barnabas in Acts chapter 4, verse 36. So that concludes Levi. Let's look at the next tribe, which is Judah. Revelation chapter 5, verse 5.
And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
Okay, so we see that the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. Now, this is a very significant tribe of the 12 tribes. This is probably the most significant of all the 12 tribes. Why? Well, he was the 4th son of Jacob. He was born to Leah. Judah, his name means praise. And we can see that in Genesis chapter 29, verse 35.
And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, Now will I praise Yahweh. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing.
Okay, so we see why he was called praise. After that, Leah stopped having children. Now Judah, he convinced his brothers to sell Joseph to slave traders for a profit instead of killing him. Genesis chapter 37, verses 26 and 27.
And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother, and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content.
Okay, so we see here that Judah saved his brother Joseph from being killed by his other brothers. They threw him into a pit. They were going to take him out and kill him. But Judah convinced them to sell them to the Ishmaelite traders. Now this was all Yahweh ordained because Joseph became the second most powerful man in Egypt. He ended up in the end with the plague that they were having, the 7 years of famine, that he was in charge of giving out the grain. And his brothers had to come to him to get the grain from him. And that started the thing with him showing himself to his brothers. Now, Judah unknowingly had relations with his daughter-in-law, Tamar. When it was revealed, he confessed his wrongdoing. And you can see that in Genesis chapter 38. She played the harlot, and he ended up having an affair with her. What was Jacob's blessing on Judah? Genesis chapter 49, verses 9 and 10.
Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall be the gathering of the people be.
Okay, so we see here the Jacob's blessing on Judah. He's a lion's cub, and so on and so forth. In the first census, the tribe of Judah was 74,600 people. In the second census, it was 76,500 people. This is the largest tribe of all the 12 tribes. What was Moses' blessing over Judah? Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 7.
And this is a blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear Yahweh the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hand be sufficient for him, and be thou a help to him from his enemies.
Okay, so he's asking Yahweh to bring him to his people and to be his help against his foes. The camp at the Tabernacle. Now, the tribe of Judah led other tribes on their march toward the promised land. The tribe encamped on the east side of the Tabernacle, the only side with an entrance. And you can see that in Numbers chapter 2. Let's look at the camp of the Tabernacle. Where are they? They are right over here on the right, in the middle. The tribe of Judah. It says 74,600. Okay? Now, the breastplate. Where were they on the breastplate? The stone was called a carnelian, or it's also called a ruby. And the color of it is red, as you can see in the picture on the bottom right there. And it is on the top right of the breastplate. How about in the Promised Land? Now, the tribe of Judah had a very large allotment of land. That included Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, and Gaza. Now, where are they on the map? They are down here on the bottom left. And you can see how big their land was. Simeon was in the middle of them, but they were all around it. They were around Philistia and all the Amaleks. Who are some notable people in this tribe? Well, you had Caleb, Numbers chapter 13, verse 6. Of course, you had King David, 1 Chronicles chapter 2. You had the governor, Zerubbabel, after the exile, Matthew 1, verse 12. Then you had the prophets, Amos, Micah, Isaiah, and Zephaniah. They all came from the tribe of Judah. Of course, we know also that the tribe of Judah, it says they say the line of Judah. Messiah himself came from the tribe of Judah. Messiah was the descendant of Judah through a royal lineage of King David. You can see that in Matthew chapter 1 and also Hebrews chapter 7 verse 14.
For it is evident that our master sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
Okay, so Moses spoke nothing of priesthood in the tribe of Judah. That was not the tribe of Judah. That wasn't their job. That was the Levites. Okay, Psalm chapter 89, verses 3 and 4.
Pause.
Snuck up on us.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, start. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David my servant. Thy seed will I establish forever, and build up thy throne to all generations. Selah.
Okay, so we see here that he was speaking to David. He was saying that David was his servant, and that his lineage would, in his throne, would be through all generations. That Messiah was a descendant of David. We can also see that in Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 and 7.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Elohim, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. Okay, so we see here also in Isaiah it says that he's going to have an everlasting kingdom, everlasting lineage. Messiah was born in Bethlehem, as Micah had prophesied. Micah chapter 5, verse 2. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth... Stop, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry, that was my fault. I'm trying to read... They cut out the scripture. I like to read the whole scripture. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I'm going to restart that one. Okay, yeah. Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, start. But thou, Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been of old, from everlasting. Wow, from everlasting. Okay. Revelation chapter 5, verse 5. And of one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Okay, we know if you read Revelation that there only could have been one
who could have opened the scrolls and the 7 seals, and that was Yahweh. That's the end of this teaching for this evening. We thank you very much for coming and watching this message tonight. Yahweh bless.
Yahweh's Learning Channel thanks you for watching this video. We hope you were edified by this content. Reach out to us with the information provided on screen, or you may click on the links to view more of our videos. Please subscribe to be notified of new uploads. Until next time, Shalom.